This is Franchise Masters. Say my name first or what?
I have pajamas that color.
Do I look at the chair? So just look off, not at the camera, but at you.
Yeah.
Will they hear you or just hear my answer? My name's My real name's Matt. So
Matt?
It is Matthew. My name's Red Boswell, and this is the Franchise Masters. I'm president of IFPG and FranchiseWire. We are a connector in franchising. We connect franchise professionals. I grew up in Texas. I've lived in South, East, North, and West Texas. I'm a Texan through and through. I've been in franchising for over 2 decades and just have grown up with an entrepreneurial spirit, love creating things and challenges and victories. And so franchising, or really entrepreneurship's just been in my blood since grade school, when I was selling pencils to my friends, NFL pencils, and then set up what might be called illegal franchises in the various classes around the school and got a little override or royalty on those. So sort of what I think got me a little more focused in the franchise world is actually when I was 21, I got recruited to be in Amway. Now, some of the old timers, you probably don't even know Amway, but it's a network marketing. It's a something that took over the country way back in the day and took over the world in some ways. And so it impacted me very positively, but really what it did is it gave me a love for helping people achieve their dreams through business ownership. And that's what franchising is. Now, network marketing and Amway, that's a very low-level version of it, not nearly as regulated, but franchising brings in that regulation that the network marketings of the world don't. And so I love franchising even more because it protects the consumer and gives the consumer that opportunity to achieve their dreams. So the industry calls us brokers. We prefer franchise consultant, maybe referral consultant, advisor, franchise advisor, matchmaker, coach. All those are much more appropriate terms. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not offended. Very few people are offended if you call them a franchise broker, although broker does denote or communicate a very cold, transactional relationship. It's not true consulting in most people's minds. So anyway, a little disclaimer there. Brokers, consultants, whatever we want to call us, they are the same entity, same person. So they are the top lead provider in franchising for awarded franchise. Let me say it a different way. In all of North America, the #1 source of awarded franchises is franchise consultants or brokers. Outside of organic, there's always going to be a lot of organic growth for franchisors, but outside of that, franchise consultants or brokers are #1. So we are helping people identify the right franchise. Think about a realtor. Realtors help you find the right home. You've not lived in that city. You don't know the school districts. You want a 4-bedroom, 3-car garage, a swimming pool, a big fence, whatever, a big tree, all these different pieces of the puzzle, a 2-story, a 1.5-story. They ask you a lot of questions. They help you find the right house, and they don't make a penny from you. They get paid after the purchase. Well, franchise consultants are very similar. A little bit headhunter and a little bit realtor, but all franchising, helping people. Many times those people don't even know they want a franchise. They're experiencing age discrimination. They're frustrated. They are not getting paid what they're used to, and they are just fed up, feeling down on themselves and their self-worth. Consultants come in, prospecting, talking to them, meeting them, wherever that may be, LinkedIn or you name it, websites. And they give them hope. They give that person an opportunity they never even thought of. And so really, if you take that at a macro level, franchise consultants and brokers are the biggest influence on why franchising is thriving. Because without franchise brokers or consultants, a lot of people, thousands, tens of thousands, would never buy a franchise. We are their guide, their helper, their handholder through that process to make it affordable, to make it possible, and to find the right match for them to achieve their dreams. And they never would have had that without those consultants. So when a buyer or someone interested in learning about franchising, possibly interested in buying a franchise or a group of franchises, how do they determine the right consultant? Well, they need to be certified. You want a certified franchise consultant. Now, certification, how do you define certification? It needs to be through a reputable, trusted, large organization. I'm biased, of course. IFPG is largest in the world. We're voted #1 5 years in a row by the franchisor community in Entrepreneur Magazine, not fake news, that to be #1. And we're #1 because we deliver. We provide wonderful candidates that love the brands and are qualified to buy them and move forward and make a decision. So to your question, how does someone identify the right consultant? Well, there's got to be a trust factor. We often refer to ourselves as trusted advisors, and that's what we are. We're advising them on one of the biggest decisions of their life. Buying a home, getting married, your religion, and buying a franchise. Like, that's the 4 biggest decisions in my mind. Maybe #5 would be where you go to college, right? So big decisions, lots of money typically, maybe your life savings and then some. Certainly your day-to-day activities are influenced. So you want that person that you get along with, that gets you, that you feel comfortable with and can trust. Interview them, talk about inventory. What do you have access to? Is it a couple dozen, couple hundred, 600 plus? You want to have a broad base of what we call inventory. You want a lot of options. If they've got 50 franchises to choose from, what are the odds that your dream franchise is in that group? So they need to be certified through a national large organization. You want them to have a great inventory, the technology to help you identify it, not just a spreadsheet and looking through it. There's some science to it. There's some art to it. Sometimes that buyer doesn't see all that science and art behind the scenes, but you want to have that comfort level. Another way to feel comfortable is look at their history, look at their past. Now, there are some world-class consultants that have been doing it for 6 or 10 months. They can be new and still be world-class, but what's their history before they were a franchise consultant? Even ask them. I mean, you can comfortably, confidently, and humbly ask someone, why should I work with you? Tell me about your past. Tell me why I should choose you. There are options out there, and I want to choose the best one, obviously, and hopefully you're it. So help me understand why I should work with you instead of others. That's a simple question, and it's a powerful one. If they don't have a really good answer that sets your mind and your heart at ease, then it's probably not the right one. And by the way, a little asterisk on that, bring the spouse on. The spouse must be involved, absolutely. If the spouse isn't going to be involved in the day-to-day, so what? This is life. This is a life decision. This is life savings. This is their credit. This is your focus. You want the spouse involved throughout the process, including the process of choosing that consultant. Because I don't know about your spouse. My spouse has intuition that I'm missing, and she can smell a rat. She senses things I don't sense. So bringing in that trusted life partner to find that trusted advisor can make a big difference for you. Franchisors often wonder, okay, what's the cost of working with franchise consultants or consultant groups? The way most look at it, and the #1 reason, frankly, why so many franchisors work with referral consultants is financial risk. Financial risk. In any other avenue of marketing and advertising, you're spending money with no guarantee. Heck, in 2017, I was the Chief Development Officer of a global brand, 700 franchisees, 35 countries, great validation, low investment. I knew my stuff inside and out, and yet, and I was closing 1 deal out of 10 with the consultants, awarding 1 person out of 10. Great quality, loved it, they're happy. They come in and follow direction better because they've already been working with an advisor. They're usually better funded. They certainly bring in more royalties for that franchisor because they are more funded, and they do follow systems a little better than most. And they close faster because they've already understood what franchising is and isn't, and they've been introduced to your brand by that consultant. So there's so many reasons why that candidate is so much higher quality. But let's look at it in perspective. Other lead sources that have no guarantee, that I have to pay for with, again, no guarantee of I'm going to do a deal. So portals, very popular. I like portals. They have their place, but there are websites where you can advertise your franchise brand. In 2017, I was spending $50 per lead and getting about 100 leads a month. 3 very popular very popular franchise portals. That's easy math. 100 leads, $50 each, $5,000 a month. In 12 months, I spent $60,000 with 1,200 leads. Now, I call my leads 8 times. I text them. I email them till they buy or die. I mean, I am on it all day long. Back then, I don't sell award franchises anymore. I, Rockstar Red, with the global brand, awarded 1 franchise. Now, I spent $60,000 for the opportunity to award 1 franchise. What makes me even more upset about that 1 out of $60,000 is the 60 gazillion hours I invested in trying to get to that 1. The quality and the financial risk are absolute different universe from every other lead source. Other than maybe, internal referrals from friends and family, referrals from your internal franchisees. Those, no, nothing can touch those. But outside of just internal warm referrals, franchise consultants deliver the lowest financial risk with the best franchisees. Now, yes, there's a cost after the deal. The vast majority of the cost is after the deal, so it's a success fee. There is no risk. You're paying, the franchisor is paying that consultant out of the franchise fee after the deal's signed and paid. Now, the last part of your question was, what are the overall costs? Vast majority of the costs we just hit. But working with consultant groups, there's going to be a little bit of cost ongoing. So it's not completely risk-free. Each consultant group's a little different. Cost could be a couple $100s a month to a few $1,000s a month. It can vary greatly depending on how much exposure and marketing and how big of a splash you want, and going to their conferences and doing webinars with them, and lots of different variables. But just know at a high level, it's simple. You're going to pay the franchise consultant group or groups. There's no exclusivity in the consultant or broker community amongst the groups. A franchisor can work with multiple. I did. Have your act together, have your house in order. There's, again, no silver bullets. So what does that mean? Well, know your business inside and out. Know your ideal avatar, that ideal franchise candidate, so you pursue them and communicate that ideal franchise candidate to the consultants. Be able to communicate a day in a life of a franchisee. Have proper documentation, not just your, a solid FDD, but an item 19 in that FDD, a clear item 7 all-in investment range. Have a one-pager or a two-pager, so a simple overview of the opportunity, along with the traditional brochure. We like to have a quick 2-minute drill that you can go over in 2 minutes or less. You want to have a franchise development. This would be my number 1. Franchise development rep that knows their stuff. Seriously, the consultant looks to that fran dev rep even more than they look at the opportunity, because they want a rep that is going to take care of the candidate, be open, honest, and forthright, great communicator, frick and frack behind the scenes, giving updates back and forth to the consultant and vice versa to help that candidate move through the process. So the franchise development rep is so incredibly critical, and so many emerging brands don't get that. They say, well, and I did this myself, chief of centers back 20-something years ago when I was a founding franchisor of a home service brand, bootstrapping it. I'm like, nobody knows the business better than I do. Nobody loves it more than I do. And I'm a pretty good communicator. So I'm doing it. Man, I started out doing it and I suddenly realized, holy cow, this is a big job. And I got to run my franchise organization team. And I've got the old business. I delegated, and finally realized, look, I need to follow my role. I'll market it at a high level. I'll be involved a little, but you get a dedicated world-class franchise development rep, and then market it by filling in that pipeline with all the different sources, including brokers. That can make a huge difference in your success or not. Franchise consultants or brokers are lead providers, and so a franchisor, short and long term, will see good quality leads come into their process that are educated on franchising, educated at a high level on that opportunity, qualified or in the process of getting financially qualified, and have someone that is a trusted advisor holding their hand through the process to make it move quicker and more comfortably and confidently to an award, to a closing. Okay, so I know I gave you a lot of answers there, but that then yields a wonderful franchisee as a general rule. that franchisee is ready to go. They got the money, they're moving forward, and they're following your process because they know how to follow a process. They've already proven that. And so again, better royalties in the long term, better franchisee, a more pleasant experience, and a faster close. Lots of different short-term and long-term benefits. The working with consultants and brokers in that franchise space also, going back to the question earlier, limits significantly the financial risk. You're not spending tens of thousands here and tens of thousands there in hopes of maybe awarding a franchise. You're spending a fraction of those numbers with the consultant group or groups and then paying a substantial or significant commission only after the franchise is awarded and you have received that franchise fee. So big part of the answer is financial risk again, and the ability to attract just a much higher caliber candidate as a general rule. So becoming a franchise consultant really allows you to achieve the lifestyle and the work style that you're looking to achieve. You like to travel? You want to live in an RV? You want to work on your front porch? Maybe you just want to sit in your room and hammer the phones, get on Zoom all day. It allows you to do what you like and enjoy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not playing baseball all day or eating bonbons by the pool. You're going to be working. So really the 3 critical success factors to become a successful consultant. Now, there are 50 that will influence it, but 3 critical success factors. Good communicator. Okay, got to be able to talk to people on a phone comfortably and confidently, lead them through a process that they want to be led through, and be able to have tough love conversations in doing that. These 65-year-old, hard-charging, intimidating CEO types who you might be working with, they get scared at the 1-yard line. They run away from the marriage altar just like anybody else. They forget that they've been looking for a job for 12 months and haven't got anything close to what they used to make. And suddenly they think, well, I'm going to go find that job. No, you need to be able to talk to them about why they're doing it in the first place. So number 1. Number 2, you've got to fill in that pipeline. Get leads. Don't think you're going to get rich going to the Chamber of Commerce once a week. You need to get the pipeline full. There are 100 ways to do that. We help all our consultants, of course, with that. And lastly, most importantly, 3 critical success factors to being a successful consultant. Manage yourself well. Duh. These are all eye rollers, okay? These are no duh elementary things, but you got it. It's the biggest problem. Consultants have never, a lot of people have never lived in a work environment where no one was looking over their shoulder, cracking the whip, getting them to work, tell them what they got to do. So we train you, teach you, give you every tool and every technology imaginable, ongoing and forever, but you still, if it is to be, it is up to me. 10 most important 2-letter words in the English language. If it is to be, it is up to me. And so ultimately, we cannot do it for the consultant. If they can manage themselves and focus on income generating activities, not mowing the yard and walking the dog and playing on Facebook and jumping on Minecraft or whatever, manage their time well and get after it. So good communicator, good pipeline, and make it happen. Those really are it. It's not brain surgery. Franchising is in my blood, and just the impacting lives through franchise ownership and through entrepreneurship. I love it so much. And so I don't like the term work-life balance. I'm more of a work-life harmony, work-life integration guy. And so I'll work 60, 80 plus hours a week, but I don't see it as work. I love it. I wake up before my alarm. And so work and play just intersect so much with me. To your point, or to your question, I've got 3 kids. They're 20, 19, and 17, and I've been in franchising their whole lives. And so I bring work home. I'm on the phone in the middle of Zion National Park in the Narrows when I could get cell phone coverage. We're exploring. I'm taking a call. They're cool with it. They know that we get to vacation more because I work while we're on vacation, and they know I can take off in the middle of the day. I go to their games. I coach 23 seasons of their basketball, baseball, and soccer between the 3 kids. So I get to do that. And you know what? Sometimes when I was coaching, I'm taking a call, I'm answering an email, whatever. It's okay. And I love it. And guess what? So I thought, I was really fearful. My wife, even more so. Like, are the kids going to embrace franchising, or are they going to hate it? Are they going to loathe it? And so far, yes. All three of them have been on the side of let's embrace it. My 20-year-old has been working in franchise development since he was just turning 17. The 19-year-old, same thing. And the 17-year-old has been at it over a year. So all three of them have various roles in franchising while they're in high school, and now two of them in college. And the oldest one, yes, is the youngest certified franchise consultant, as best I can tell, in history. And so, yeah, proud papa there. Go Mason.